Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be analyzing the bar routine and an overview of world champion TATIANA Nabievva. Tatiana is recognized for being the first gymnast to compete the very difficult and cool toe-on soul circle to a layout reverse hecht or Tkachev on the bars. Due to some back injuries she struggled with, she was only named as the alternate to the Olympic team in 2012. She did, however, earn a gold medal at the 2010 World Championships as part of the women's Russian team and a silver medal on the bars. Tatiana did very difficult skills and had an above-average aggressive style in her gymnastics. In my view, she had the approach of a soldier with great intensity and a fearless aggressiveness in her gymnastic skills and routines. She always went very big, and if it went well, she could be brilliant, and if it didn't go well, she was durable and had a very strong drive to keep going. It's hard to say how much her back injuries kept her from reaching her peak. She had great flexibility and above average height on her leap series on beam. I never saw her do anything halfway. Each time she mounted her event, I was never really sure how it was going to go for her, but she was always exciting to watch due to her style, aggressiveness, and fearlessness of how she would perform her routines. Let's get started with the analysis. Hip cast handstand. Now she goes into her own trick named after her, which is called a Nabievva, or a toe-on soul circle layout reverse hecht or layout Tkachev. This little arm bend was part of her technique to help her snap her feet into the bar and generate power for her release. It's very subtle, but it is part of her tap beat or rhythm in her release. Whoa, this is huge. When Tatiana went for something, she went big. I wouldn't call it reckless abandon, it's more like aggressive abandon as she seemingly fearlessly throws into her release move. Here's a side-by-side of Olympic champion Suni Lee with Tatiana. They both get their feet on the bar very similarly. Both have beautiful release points. I would say Tatiana throws her heels down even stronger than Suni does, as they are lower here and Tatiana has already lifted her head up a bit, where Suni is still looking at the bar. This skill is all throw with strong arch and heel drive for Tatiana. Suni has a more hollowed layout body position, which allows her to see the bar faster and negotiate her feet over the bar a little better. Tatiana's feet have already cleared the bar here, but she doesn't see the bar below her yet. This is that aggressive abandon I was talking about. Even with their differences in technique, they catch in a very similar rotated position. Suni's a bit tighter in her release, where Tatiana has a slight leg separation and seems a bit more free, but exciting. Now this is interesting. Tatiana's technique evolved over the years, and it became more like Suni's actually. Let's take a look at this side by side. They get their feet on the bar in a very similar fashion. Suni has a stronger arch here as Tatiana starts to throw the bar a bit earlier than Suni. Now look here. They're almost identical. Tatiana evolved from the heel drive all the way through this skill to the hollow straight body position that allowed her to see the bar sooner. Of course, Tatiana did this skill first, which allowed Suni to analyze and review Tatiana's technique. This seems to be the ideal technique. Tatiana didn't always use this skill in her routine, and I get the impression it was a bit inconsistent for her compared to Suni Lee. Watch this stretch and torque in her catch. She held nothing back each time she did this skill and had great grip to re-grab that release, even when she was a little bit far away at full arm's length. This is the cleanest I've ever seen her do this skill. Really tight form and beautifully done. There are already gymnasts that are building on the innovation of Tatiana, as we see each generation stands on the shoulders of the giants of the previous generation. This is a full twisting Nabievva. Really cool. Beautiful form and body position in her pack salto or layout backflip from the high bar to the low bar. She had a few different versions of her routine, and I've seen her hit great positions and do near flawless work, and I've also seen her struggle to find the top of her handstands and hit vertical positions. Here's a nice deep Stalter position. Just shy, but very near vertical here. Here she has very good form and good throw on her Komova or toe-on reverse hecht with a half twist to catch the high bar. She's really exciting to watch, but she's also nerve-wracking to watch. This in particular sequence looks very clean and comfortable for her. Now a pike toe-on soul circle to a blind change or a half turn passing through vertical into her straddle Jaeger or straddle front flip recatch. She was very clean and consistent with her Jaeger recatch and made it look like it was easy for her. Here's a pike soul circle to handstand. Both versions finish in a very vertical handstand. Now pike soul circle to full pirouette. The first half of the pirouette finishes before vertical, but she was often a bit slow in the second part of her pirouette, which again caused her to miss the vertical handstand position. Sometimes. The one on the right is good. The one on the left is a bit short of handstand. Here's her half-in, half-out dismount. She does it very easily and has nice twisting mechanics, but she developed a habit where her technique requires a leg separation. We see here she kicks one knee harder to start her twist, but it causes her legs to noticeably separate on the first flip of her dismount. Sometimes it was more pronounced than others, and it happens very fast, but I believe the judges would still catch this. Tatiana was incredibly exciting to watch. She retired in 2013, but she came back to the sport after being persuaded by the Russian team. She would retire one more time before returning to the sport a second time as well. Her original skill, the Nabieva, seemed to be a trend that more athletes were pursuing. One of the greatest compliments an athlete can have is to have other athletes try to duplicate your work. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you got some insight and value out of it. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel and leave any thoughts you might have in the comments. Until next time, rock on.